Greetings, greetings, greetings. I want to talk to you a little bit about relationships today. What is a relationship? And when I'm talking about relationship, I mean an intimate relationship. Whatever you're in right now, it's the best thing for you in this moment. And it's what the universe is telling you to be in. I know there's sometimes we stay in relationships longer than we think, but it's for you in this moment. It's the best thing possible. So what are relationships? What is a relationship? What is your relationship? The best relationship is when your partner holds up the mirror to the things that are really tucked inside you and they bring it out so that you can be the best you possible, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. And a lot of times in this society, we run from that. Be it because there's social media, there's these online dating sites that allows us to run in thinking that there's something better when it really isn't. So a lot of times people don't want to be figured out. They don't want to do the work. And so relationships will end abruptly, making you wonder, what the heck were you in? Something I also want to talk about is, what is toxicity? Have you ever thought about your own toxic stuff? Your toxicity in your body from your own trauma and pain that has been festering and sitting in your body with no acknowledgement. You've just been stuffing it down and living life and not really tending to it. Do you think that that stuff is healthy? Or do you think that that stuff is toxic? So when you get in a relationship and your partner puts up this mirror, right? What's gonna happen? Your toxic stuff is gonna come out. And it's gonna come out in the relationship, be an argument, being that you're gonna run, be that you're stonewall. No matter how much you may know how to communicate, but it's gonna happen. And ultimately, your toxicity is going to poison, taint the relationship because your own toxic stuff. And what a lot of times we have a tendency to do is we point the finger at the other person because that is a defense mechanism. So if you're in a relationship where you're constantly saying that they're toxic, I want you to think about, how is your toxicity impacting the relationship? You're no better than your partner. What a real relationship does, and what's real love, is when your partner and yourself can hold the space for one another and allow the toxic stuff to come up and have a place at the table with you. Because it's still a part of you. Remember, it's a part of your quilt. And they hold this space and they say that I love you in spite of. Because you didn't determine what you encountered, your losses, your pain, your trauma. You didn't ask for that. But the right relationship says, hey, I'll sit at this table with you and we'll figure it out. We'll hold the space for you. That is what real love is. And when you're navigating relationships, a lot of times we just want to be heard. You want to be heard, your partner wants to be heard, and sometimes we don't have the capacity to listen because we feel that we need to be in survival when you don't. How can you embrace love if you're in survival? If you're in a relationship, what I really want you to think about is, how can you show up in a space of love and not survival? So if you're somebody that has this glass, this is all you have, this is all your stuff in here, and your partner has about the same, and that when your partner might be going through something, they might pour something into your glass, but you don't have the capacity to hold that for them. So what's gonna happen? You're gonna pour their stuff out. And as you pour their stuff out, they're gonna feel like you don't hear them, you're not supporting them, you're not holding the space for them. And a lot of times we just need to come to the table and say, hey, here's my glass. I can't do it. Maybe we need to pour our stuff out so we can show up for one another. Remember, the best relationship is when your partner can hold the space for your toxic stuff. And the reason that I say toxic is because it's been sitting in your body for a long time. If we think about mold, food going bad in the refrigerator, and something's in there for a week and it starts getting moldy, it's toxic. So if your experience or your trauma's been really lodged in your body for the last 15 years, do you think it's fresh or do you think it's toxic? So I want you to think about that. Your best relationship is when somebody can hold the mirror and hold the space for you. And understand that it doesn't mean that they're holding the space and saying, hey babes, come here. But it means that they're not leaving you. They're not running from you. And they're showing up the best way they know how. We're not perfect. I don't care how many degrees you have. I don't care what you've accomplished. But your internal world may be hard and wanting to be loved and not knowing how to navigate those spaces because of the things that you've endured. A lot of times people don't want to sit with being uncomfortable with their partner and they leave or they cheat or they hide. But the best relationship is somebody who's saying, I accept you as is and I'm going to rock with you regardless. So before you decide to put on your running shoes, really ask yourself, does your relationship help you grow? Does your partner really hold the space for you so you can figure out what you need? And remember, the space that you're in your relationship is what you need in this moment. And that's okay. Tomorrow it may be different, but you're right where you need to be. You're wanting to grow, and your partnership, your relationship can help you do that. Be well, be amazing, and most of all, be you.